Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Gunpla News. This is episode number 39 for May of 2018. Once again, this episode is a little late because I wanted to wait until after the Shizuoka Hobby Show, which was last weekend, at which we got a whole bunch of new stuff to talk about. So that's all I'm going to talk about in this month's episode. It's going to be a light episode where I don't cover the whole span of things that I usually talk about. I'm just going to talk about all the new stuff that we learned about and a couple other just kind of announcement things. So let's get right into it with a few points of news first, and then we'll get into all the announcement stuff. So the first thing is about t-shirts. My t-shirt contest wrapped up and the two winners were chosen, and some of you guys have already been buying those t-shirts, so thank you for that. They're really cool t-shirts, the ones that were chosen, so do check those out. The link to the store is down below. But I did also want to do something else with that too that I want to just announce to you guys now here. I'm going to be putting all of the t-shirt entries into a photo album on my Facebook page, on my ZakuAurelius Facebook page, and I want you guys to go there and vote for your favorite, and then whichever one wins the popular vote, I'll also make that one available for t-shirts, and then I'll sort out a prize for that winner as well. I'm sure there were some designs in the compilation video that you guys maybe saw that you would love to have on a t-shirt, but they just weren't one of the two that were chosen for one of the winners. So I'm just giving you guys a chance to vote on which ones that you would like to see. So check my Facebook page. I'll maybe give you guys a few days to leave your likes there on the ones that you like the most, and then we'll figure out which one is going to be the winner. So there's that. Also, other t-shirts of my own design I'm adding to the store, and also Armando Barreto, who I did a collaboration with before, putting some of his awesome artwork onto t-shirts, including this one. And there was the Zaku design as well. So we've got two new designs from him. One is of Domon Kashu and Shining Gundam, and the other one is of the a line art of the Barbatos. So really cool designs. So those will be up probably not right now. You guys, if you're watching this on the first day that it's uploaded, they're not up yet. But sometime in the next couple of days, I'll be putting those new t-shirt designs up there, as well as the new series of t-shirt designs that I'm working on myself that are just really simple, basic things, but cool, I think. Like we did before, those collaboration t-shirts are going to be available for just a limited time, so do make sure you buy one sooner rather than later. If you do want to get one, I'll probably have those only available online there for about 2 months probably. And then for the t-shirts that I'm designing, it's just a really simple series of t-shirts with some kind of logo for the different series, the different Gundam series, like G Gundam, Wing Gundam, Double O, and like that. And so there'll be just a kind of regular versions that will be available probably for a while. I'll just keep on there for however long I want to keep them. But then I'm also going to have some limited versions of those, and I'm only going to keep on there for probably a short time as well, 1 or 2 months. And those are going to be some colorful camouflage versions of those as well. So those, if they're not up at the time when you're seeing this, they will be up there very soon. I'm working on just putting those up now. It's 10 t-shirts, so it just takes a while to get those on there, but do check those out if you're interested in some Gundam design stuff to wear. Okay, next we had an announcement of a new Gundam series coming out. It's a Gundam Narrative. This is taking place in 0097, 1 year after the events of Gundam Unicorn. This is going to be airing in the cinema in Japan in November of this year, so I don't know if it's going to be just one movie or a series. I've seen online they're calling it a series, but based on kind of what I've seen about it, it just says that it's playing in November. Not that it's starting in November, but that it's just playing in November. So that kind of makes me think that it's just a one thing, one movie kind of, and maybe even not that, just 45, 50 minutes or something maybe, just an OVA. So I'm not exactly too sure on that. If you guys have seen anything that's more clear, maybe let me know. But it looks pretty cool. It features a new Gundam called the Narrative Gundam, which basically looks like a sort of mashup of the new Gundam and some aspects of the Unicorn in there as well. And it's very odd, strange. Some parts of it also just kind of remind me of the Savior, just the kind of bare frame showing on parts of the legs and things like that. It's strange looking. I'm not sure if I'm really too into it yet, but it's interesting. And the series is also featuring a new version of the Sinanju Stein, which is looking pretty cool. It's basically kind of just got some sleeve parts on it. The shield and the weapon is a little bit different. Nothing too different there. And then it's also got a new version of the Unicorn 03 Phoenix, which now has pigtails coming out of the Armed Armor DE shields on the back. Not really too into that new feature added to the Phoenix, but it's just cool that we're getting sort of a continuation. It's probably not going to be a continuation of the Unicorn series, the Unicorn story, but it's like maybe sort of related to that in a way. At least it's featuring some of the same mobile suits and things like that. So just one other thing, in the very short, just like 1 minute promo video that we have of it so far, it does actually show the Gustav Karl. The Gustav Karl is a really cool mobile suit that did actually appear in Gundam Unicorn, and now it's appearing in this series as well. Hopefully, maybe we'll actually end up getting a kit of that now, because as of yet we don't, and it's a pretty cool like kind of grunt design. It's sort of like bulky, sort of like the Jesta cannon, but it's really cool, really interesting. Okay, next thing, there was the Mobile Suit Gundam 00 Festival Revision. I guess it was just sort of like a celebration festival for the 10th anniversary of Gundam 00. And at that, we learned a few new things, that there's going to be some new animation, new animated project related to Gundam 00. We really don't know anything about that yet, except for the fact that there's going to be new versions of the Exia and the Dynamis, the Exia Repair 4, as well as the Dynamis Repair 3. Interestingly, the Exia Repair 4 is going to be piloted by Graham Aker, and apparently the Dynamis Repair 3 is going to be piloted by Tierra Eard, so some interesting kind of shakeups in normal pilots for those. So I don't know, fans of 00 should be pretty happy about that. I'm surprised that they're doing something to revisit the series. I mean, usually, as we've seen with Sunrise, what they've done in the past is, kind of once something's done, they don't really go back to it that much later. Maybe if they do like some bonus Blu-ray or something, like for example with the Blu-ray release of 8th MS Team, they added a little short to that, which was really cool, by the way. But I don't think it's going to be something that short in this case. It seems like they're kind of building up to something maybe a little bit bigger than that, but we don't really know quite yet. The other interesting thing is that they also announced a stage play adaptation of the Gundam 00 series that is going to be starting in February of next year. I don't really know how that's going to work out. A series about giant robots fighting in space as a stage production. But it's an interesting idea. But yeah, so far we really don't have a whole lot of details about it other than just that. So I don't really know how exactly that's going to work out, or if it's only going to be taking just like some of the story aspects or something. But who knows? With the attention that the series is getting, the one thing that I'm looking forward to is just new kits. So who knows? Maybe we'll finally end up getting like new master grades of the other lead Gundams from the 00 series next year possibly, and instead of just getting new versions of the Exia and the 00 all the time, in the Quanta, maybe we'll get some of the other mobile suits, the Virtue, the Dynamis, Arios, and things like that. Okay, and the last little point of news here is just related to an upcoming book release. This is the Model Graphics Mobile Suits Gundam Archives book for Zeta Gundam and Double Zeta Gundam, and this is going to be coming out in June for 3,800 yen. So these Model Graphics books are really cool if you guys like seeing some beautiful magazines featuring lots of photos of really nicely painted kits by some Japanese professional Gunpla modelers, artists. So do check that out. I'm sure you can pre-order that on many different websites, but just Googling that, I'm sure you'll be able to sort that out. Okay, so let's get into all the announcements for this month, and there's quite a lot of this. So I'll go through here first. Just some stuff related to some figures and things that were announced, and then we'll talk about all the different P-Bandai stuff that was announced, and then we'll get into the normal release stuff there at the end. So first thing here is the Metal Robot Spirits Wing of Light and Heimat Full Burst Effect set. This is for the Metal Robot Spirits Strike Freedom Gundam. And this set is coming out in October for 5,800 yen. Basically, from what I can gather, it's just a little bit different version of the Wing of Light, which I already thought was a thing for this kit. Or maybe I'm just thinking of the Wing of Light set for the metal build. And this is different. This is for the Metal Robot Spirits. So maybe this is a totally new thing. But it looks so much like the metal build. That's, I think, where I'm getting confused with that. But as you guys know, this stuff is not something that I'm really particularly into, and I don't really buy or collect this stuff, but I know some of you guys do. So if you haven't seen about that's for I know these kind of effect parts and everything kind of related to metal build and Metal Robot Spirits and all of that stuff is usually pretty expensive. So 5,800 yen, while it's kind of a lot for an effects part set, actually sounds kind of cheap. I would have expected it to be probably more than that, but That's coming out in October. Next, we have the new Converge series, which was announced here. Converge Series 12. It's coming out in October for 5,400 yen. That's for a box of 10 of them. Like, if you watch the reviews that I've done here on my channel, I usually just buy them by the box and get 10 of them. So you do end up getting doubles of some of them, which could be a good or bad thing, depending on what you want to do with them. One thing that I've often suggested is just going in with a friend and just kind of sharing the cost, buy a box together, and then just share the figures with the ones you have doubles of. This set, anyway, is coming with the Gundam F91, the Banshee in Destroy mode, which I'm sure we've got out before, because I can see it up on my shelf. So I'm not sure. I'll have to look again to see exactly what's different about the new version. If it's like different in terms of the proportions or something, maybe the color is slightly different. I know the one version that we had before is kind of like the real color version, and I think that's the one that I have. It's like a little bit different colors, but anyway. Then there's also the Sandrock EW, which is new. I think that completes the EW set of Converge Gundam Wing figures, I believe. There's also the Goof. That's pretty cool. That does come with the heat whip as well as the sword, so that's nice. And there's from Gundam Victory, there's the Denangei. I don't know how to pronounce that. Denangei. And also the Denangei Black Vanguard. And actually, I'm not really too into the designs of those mobile suits at all, but I think they look really good in converged form. I think just based on their design and like just transforming that into like the converged proportions and kind of the way that they're designing converged figures these days, I think it looks much better now like this than in like its normal mobile suit form. So I'm actually quite excited about this set as well. Not really too big of a fan of the F91 Gundam either, but who knows, maybe the Master Grade, that'll be out very soon, and maybe that will change my mind about the Gundam itself. But also the next Gundam Converge EX series release was announced, the EX23 Shinanju full weapon set. So this is just a Converge Shinanju with a ton of weapons and things included with that. So this one is going to be out in August for 2,200 yen. Pricey for one little Converge figure, but you are getting a lot of stuff in that. The thing about these Converge figures is that it's always cool to have a lot of different weapon options, but personally for me, I don't really like it that much. It doesn't really get me that excited knowing that I'm going to have a whole bunch of different weapon options that I'm going to end up just keeping somewhere not on display, because how you can't display all of them with just one figure, right? Unless you like build some sort of like display or something, or use some sort of like wave like a hanger set like this one here, something like that to display this. But this comes with the two rocket bazookas, the beam rifle, the shortened rocket bazooka to attach onto the beam rifle, the shield, beam sabers, as well as two beam axes, as well as a stand for that. So a lot of stuff in there and very cool. I'm excited to have a Shinanju, because actually I don't have currently a converged Shinanju, so I'm really happy about that. But moving on to Mobile Suit Gundam G-Frame, Volume 3 is going to be coming out in September for 5,400 yen. That's once again for a box of 10 of them. But for the G-Frame stuff, you actually kind of do need more than one box for one mobile suit. If you guys have remembered about this, if you guys can remember about the details about these, if you haven't got them before, this set is coming with the RX-782, Char's Zaku 2, and the Hyakushiki. So just once again, like the base set of this, it's not very posable, and it only comes with like, I think maybe like one weapon or something like that. But if you buy then also the G-Frame for that mobile suit, then it comes with a much more movable frame. It's much more posable. And it also comes with some other parts as well. It'll include like a separate weapon or some other kind of add-on part for that as well. So 3 different mobile suits times the 2 different sets that you need for them. You'll still have some doubles that you won't end up using in this box if you do want to get this. So again, it's the kind of thing that you could share with a friend or something like that. Then into some Robot Damashi stuff. The Robot Damashi Banshee Norn SP Pack real marking version. This is out in September for 8,000 yen. This looks to be kind of like a definitive version of a Robot Damashi Banshee, because it comes with parts for the regular Banshee as well as for the Banshee Norn. So you can kind of choose which one you want to go with, it looks like. And this is the real marking version. So it's got kind of different or more different markings than just the regular Banshee that's been previously released, I guess. The one thing that I don't really like about this is that it's a two-tone, like black. It's like really dark gray and then black. And it doesn't really look good, I think. It just looks really weird to see a Banshee like that. It looks like just someone's bad attempt to do like a RG style painting of a Banshee, and it just doesn't really work in my personal opinion, but hey, maybe you like it. But anyway, last thing here is the Robot Damashi GM Cold Districts type version anime. This one also out in September, but we don't have a price set for this. I'm gonna imagine probably around 5,000, 5,500 yen probably for this, because it's on the more simple side, obviously. But yeah, that's the latest release for the version anime lineup. Now we're just still waiting to see if we're going to get a Master Grade Cold Districts type. Still no word on that, but fingers are crossed. Alright, so let's get into the mountain of P-Bandai stuff that was released. As usual, we have, first thing is P-Bandai Master Grade Gundam Avalanche Exia Dash. This is something that I think is going to be pretty exciting for a lot of people, but unfortunate that it's P-Bandai. So this is out in August for 6,700 yen, so it's not cheap. That's about $65 at list price. Then, of course, if you're getting it outside of Japan, you're paying 20, 30, possibly even $40 more on top of that for whatever proxy seller you're getting it from. So hopefully you guys are able to get that for not too much more. Obviously, my friends at USA Gundam Store sell that, so you can always use my coupon code there, ZakuAurelius10, and save 10%. You can use that on the P-Bandai stuff from their site as well. So check that out if you're interested. I don't think this is in any way related to the fact that Dragon Momoko or Daban, whatever a couple of the bootleg companies not too long ago made different versions of this of their own. And so I think usually when this happens, a lot of people say, oh, the other bootleg companies made it and this is Bandai's response to that. I think Bandai it's not a response to that. It's just the fact that Bandai just made it sort of similar in time to the same time that some other bootleg companies made it. It's a very popular design, and so that's why the bootleg companies made it, and that's why Bandai is making it. So I think it's just coincidence. Personally, I really, really like the Avalanche Exia. I really, really don't like the dash parts, the parts on the legs. So what I really would, if it was my dream world, what I would have wished what Bandai would have done was release the Avalanche Exia as just a regular release kit, and then the Avalanche Exia Dash as a P-Bandai version with the extra parts for the legs and stuff. That I think would have been cool, but unfortunately I'm not working at Bandai, so. We have a new Premium Bandai Gelgoog coming out, the Premium Bandai Master Grade Gelgoog 2.0 Anavel Gato Custom. Unfortunately, it's not another high mobility type Gelgoog variant like the Uma Lightning version, which I reviewed not too long ago. This is just kind of basically just a recolor of just the standard Gelgoog 2. I don't think there's any new parts for the actual mobile suit itself, but what we do have, of course, is Gato's signature rifle. So this already came out as a HG P-Bandai release years ago, but they're just now getting to making a Master Grade 2.0 version of this, apparently. So that'll be out. I didn't see the release date for that yet, but we do have a price of 5,400 yen, so it's barely more expensive than just the regular Master Grade Gelgoog 2.0. So that's cool. I don't really like those colors. The rifle is cool, but I'm just glad to see that they're continuing the Ace Pilot log with the Gelgoog, so I'm looking forward to more Ace Pilot mobile suit variations of the Gelgoog coming out in the future. Along similar lines, we have a P-Bandai Master Grade Zaku Cannon Ian Graydon custom. So this is, again, just a kind of Ace Pilot variation, MSV version of the Zaku Cannon. I love the Zaku Cannon, but not really too into this exact design myself. Some of the decals are a little bit much for them, like the spider across the chest is kind of cheesy, and the circles on the spikes. The decals are not really to my taste, and when you have a kit like this where it's basically just a recolor with custom decals, then kind of the point for me at least is just having cool decals. That's kind of the reason to buy that, because I can paint it myself, so the molded colors don't really matter that much. In this case, I don't believe this is coming with any new parts, so it's really just the fact that if you like the colors, if you like the decals included with this set, then it's worth getting. Otherwise, you're not missing out on anything else. This one, anyway, is out in July for 5,400 yen. Now, into the really, really exciting stuff. This stuff, we have some more P-Bandai kits coming out from Advance of Zeta, and yes, they're P-Bandai, but it's more kits coming out from Advance of Zeta, so not going to complain about that. We got an announcement of the Hurudu, the G-Parts Hurudu, to be coming out. This was made in HG scale, but it was a magazine pack-in exclusive, and now it's, I don't want to say it's super rare, but it's definitely not cheap. I think it's at the least expensive price you could get this for is maybe $35-$40 for the HG set. But now you can get it for the MG, and it's costing 2,100 yen. So this one also going to be out in July. So for 2,100 yen, you just get one set of the Hurudu parts for the Master Grade Hazel or the Advanced Hazel. And I am planning on definitely getting more than one, because if you have one set, you can make it into one different version of the Hazel. If you have two sets, you can make it into a different version of the Hazel. I forget exactly which one's which, Hazel Raw, something like that. There's so many different variations of the Hazel. I always get them confused. But there's not only that, but there's also going to be the combat deployment color. So it's just the exact same thing, but in the kind of dark blue Titans colors of that. So as far as I know, there's not any difference in terms of the actual parts. It's just the color swap, and the decals will probably be a little bit different. So I did get one of each. More than one of each, but yeah, so I'll be able to review those for you guys when those come out. But not only that, there's one more thing as well that was announced, a P-Bandai Master Grade Gundam TR1 Hazel Shield Booster Part Set. Now this one, less exciting, but still cool if you're interested in making some different variations of the Hazel. This is basically just a pack of 2 of the booster shields that were included with the Hazel. Actually, I fortunately have it sitting right next to me, so I can actually show you a visual representation here. This is the shield booster for the Master Grade Hazel. It's just you have one included with the kit, and you can buy this P-Bandai set for a very low price of just 1,500 yen, so 15 bucks. You get 2 more of these, and you can make the Hazel that is using the 3 booster shields, 1 on the back and then 2 on the arms. It's a cool look, I think, so I'm planning on getting that as well, because all the Hazels. Okay, and then some more really cool Master Grade P-Bandai announcements here. The P-Bandai Master Grade Gundam Stormbringer. This is a Naoki design variation of the Gym Sniper 2. It doesn't really look very much like... It's actually more of a redesign or a kind of variation of the Gym Dominance, which is coming out very soon. I think that's released this month or next month. P-Bandai Gym Dominance. This is basically that, but even more variant. So anyway, this is it looks like a really cool kit. This one I'm also planning on getting, and I'll be reviewing that for you guys as soon as I get that. But at the moment, we don't have an exact release date for it, but this one we do know. Once again, it has the release price of 5,400 yen for that. So it's definitely more expensive than the Gym Sniper 2 or the different versions of that we've got out in the past year or so. But as you can see just from the prototype there are going to be a large amount of new parts included with this. So that should be a cool kit. Also, really looking forward to this one as well, the P-Bandai Master Grade Polypod Ball. This is basically just a Master Grade ball with a set of spider legs attached onto the bottom of it. I think it looks really cool. I don't know what this is from. I think that both of these, the Stormbringer and the Polypod Ball, I think are from a Gundam Build Divers side story manga, I believe, that's coming out. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I saw mention of that in one of the posts about this. So that's what I think is the case anyway. This one as well, we don't have an exact release date set for that. I would say probably August or something like that, probably late summer. This one, on the low end though, for only 3,000 yen. The Master Grade Ball is one of the cheapest Master Grades that you can get, so it makes sense that this version would not be too expensive. But it does look like a fair amount of new parts in there for the legs for that. I'm not sure exactly how mobile those are going to be. I assume they'll be pretty cool actually in action. From so far, basically, we're seeing just like a colored prototype, so we can't really get a good idea of exactly all that it does or everything that's included with the set, but I think it looks cool, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, now into the P-Bandai HG stuff, the P-Bandai HGC Grounds Type Gundam Parachute Pack. So this is like the Grounds Gundam, which I recently reviewed for you guys. This is like the ultimate form release for, that kind of sounded bad. This is the ultimate release. That didn't sound any better. Anyway. This is the version of the ground type Gundam that comes with everything that you could want for that, except for the parachute pack that came with the EZ8. It doesn't come with that, but this is the parachute pack that I believe was featured in that new short that was added to the 8MS team when the Blu-ray was released that I mentioned earlier in the episode. Anyway, this is out in August for 2,000 yen, so this comes with, everything obviously that the regular ground Gundam came with, and also the new parachute backpack, but it does also come with some other cool stuff. It comes with a ground gym head, so you can make the gym head Gundam that was, of course, featured in the anime. It also comes with the net gun from that release, as well as the missile launcher for that, and bazooka from that. So it basically has all the different weapons that you could want with that, and the regular container backpack and all of that fun stuff. So very, very cool set with tons of stuff in there. This next one is another one that I'm super excited for. It's the P-Bandai HGC Rigelgu. I really love the design of the Rigelgu. Probably way back when in a past delivery video you guys may have saw, I bought the Regalgu. Previously, it was available in the original, like, old 80s 1/44 scale line, and so you can get that. I bought that as well as an HGUC Gelgoog kit, and I was planning on just kit bashing that, and now I don't have to, so that's cool. Also, not only that, I also bought a resin conversion kit for the HGUC, so I was planning on doing both of those at some point in the future, and just trying them out, so making a kit bash version and also trying out the resin conversion kit. But yeah, now we're getting it as just an official release, and anybody want to buy a resin conversion kit for the HGUC Regalgu or a 80s Regalgu kit? Because I don't think I really need those anymore now. We'll see, might hang on to them just for the fun of following through with that idea. Anyway, but the kit's coming out in July for 2,000 yen. Now this is the original version, not the version, not like the sleeves color version that was seen animated in Unicorn. So I don't know if maybe we'll see like another P-Bandai variant of a P-Bandai variant to come out in the future, which will be like the dark green color version that appeared in Gundam Unicorn, possibly. But maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. It's a design that I really like, so I'm really looking forward to that release. And then the next one here is a P-Bandai HGUC Ifrit. So we've already got all the different versions, the Ifrit Shinai, the Ifrit Noct, the Ifrit Custom, and now we're finally getting the original Ifrit, which happens to be my least favorite of the 4 different Ifrit variants mentioned. So I'm not planning on getting this one, but I'm sure it'll be a solid kit. If you've seen any reviews on any of the other different versions of the Ifrit HGUC kit, it's a fantastic kit, so I have no doubt that this kit will be very good. It's just that it's not to my personal taste. This one, anyway, is out in July for 2,000 yen. It could be related to the fact that it's all blue. If you guys haven't noticed, over the past few months, I've kind of realized that I just don't really like mobile suits that are all blue for some reason, so I don't know. And then the last P-Bandai kit we have on the books at the moment is the P-Bandai HG, the Origin MSD version of the Gym Sniper Custom. So the kit that came out as a master grade at the end of last year, we're now getting in an HG, the Origin MSD kit. So this is going to be P-Bandai coming out for 1,900 yen. Don't have a release date for this one yet either. I would say also probably late summer. It does look really, really nice. As you guys know, the HG, the Origin line, very nicely detailed, very fantastic kits. So any new additions to that I'm always excited about. So this one included. I actually didn't really like this mostly because of the face mask, but actually even in this version, it doesn't actually look that bad. Okay, so let's get into some of the standard release stuff. Now, this first thing here will probably come as some very, very welcome news to some of you guys, and I think it's like kind of exciting and good, but also at the same time really sucks, because here we have the P-Bandai Gundam Exia LED units. So Bandai, which just kind of left us hanging in the dark whether they were going to release an LED unit sold separately or not. Some people, basically everyone had the choice of whether you wanted to buy the Exia lighting model, which was the super expensive version that came with LEDs, but you kind of have to, or the standard version which didn't come with any LEDs, and you had to just have it in the dark or buy some bootleg LEDs from China or something. But now Bandai is going to be releasing the LED unit set on its own, so you'll be able to get that in August. The unfortunate thing is that it's going to be costing around $150, so that is ridiculous. And I don't know, I haven't seen that super confirmed yet, actually, so I'm not totally sure about that. I could be wrong. That post that I saw about that, I have a feeling could possibly be wrong, but at the same time, I wouldn't put it past Bandai charging $150 for the LED set. So man, that sucks. Just the fact that it costs so much, and the fact that they didn't announce that it was going to be available when the kit first came out, man, that is just too bad. Okay, but moving on to some much happier news, we're finally getting an official announcement of the Master Grade Jagen. So this is just the standard type Jagen, and I'm sure in the future, over the next couple years, we'll be seeing plenty of different Master Grade P-Bandai variations of the Jagen coming out. Who knows if any of them may actually be just standard releases? Who knows? With the Gym Sniper 2, we have the Gym Sniper 2, the Gym Sniper Custom, and then the Gym Command Colony type, and all these different variations which have been standard release, which is great. So they might do that also with the Jagen. Well, it'll be kind of like half and half. Half the releases we get end up being P-Bandai, half the releases different variants end up being just standard release. So I could see them probably doing something similar like that. As it is, though, it just looks like a really nice, solid Master Grade release. The inner frame looks a little bit detailed. I think people who love a lot of inner frame detail will probably be, again, a little bit disappointed with this one. But for me, I'm more concerned with the functionality of the inner frame, and it looks very nice. So I think that'll be a really super solid kit. Again, along the lines of the Gym Sniper 2. And then related to that, we got an announcement of a 1/100 scale base jabber Type 89 that's going to be coming out. Basically, at the moment now, they've just confirmed it as a future release. We don't have any other information related to a price or a release date or anything like that. Again, I'd probably say late this year, probably even into the fall, if not the end of summer, maybe at the earliest. Looks really cool. And at the moment, they're just calling it 1/100 scale. They're not calling it Master Grade. So I don't really know exactly how they're going to deal with the labeling for that. But I don't really think it matters too much. It's just kind of a separate thing. But what I'm much more excited about is this new teaser image that we just got posted today. And I'm sure this will probably have like a full image out tomorrow, so I may have to edit this in post to show you guys some more photos of this. But from the teaser image that I have at the moment of recording this, I know what this is. This is the RE100 scale Yakudoga. And this is the Guinea Gus version of that, so it's the green version. That one up on the shelf, I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see that in the video. That one, coming out in the RE100 line. I have been dying for a 100 scale version of the Yakudoga. Whether it ended up being RE100 or Master Grade, I don't really care. Either one is fine with me. I think it'll be a great kit, a great looking kit. Regardless, obviously, if it was a Master Grade, it would be a better kit overall, probably. But I'm fine with it being an RE100 scale as well. I can only guess that the Kesparaya version, the red version of that has a different weapon, will probably end up being a P-Bandai release. I will most certainly want to be getting that one as well, unless the kit just by some very random instance ends up looking like ass or something, which I very highly doubt. Okay, and aside from that teaser image, we also got a teaser image of the 00 Quanta Full Saber, and I'm not exactly sure what the grade or story with that is going to be. And that's just a teaser image that we saw. We'll probably have more information on that tomorrow or something. And another very big announcement was also the Real Grade Sazabi. And interesting that they're releasing the Real Grade Sazabi before they release a Real Grade New Gundam, but I can only imagine that a Real Grade New Gundam is going to follow not far down the line, but in the meantime we'll have the Sazabi first. Now at first glance, when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's a kind of shrunken down version of the Master Grade Verka, but actually as soon as you look at it in any more detail than that, you can see that it's quite a bit different from the Master Grade Verka. Obviously, it's less complex than the Verka, but just in terms of overall shapes and proportions and everything, it's very, very different from the Master Grade. So I think that'll be really fun to build another really cool version of the Sazabi. But I actually really like a lot of the design choices, a lot of the new proportion changes and detail changes around onto the mobile suit. I think look really good for this Real Grade kit, so I'm actually quite excited for that. What I'm hoping that they'll do, though, is make a whole new inner frame for this instead of like they did with the Shinanju, reusing the Gundam Mark II frame, which is a solid frame to be sure, but you're adding a lot of weight onto that frame that was not really intended to hold that much weight. So the Sazabi is obviously going to be much more weighty even than the Shinanju, I think. It's so roughly similar in size, but it's definitely more bulky. So I don't know. I guess the Shinanju did also have extra bulk of like more layers with the black and gold and everything like that. But it's going to be very, very cool. It's going to have all different gimmicks, of course, with the funnels in the backpack and just the beam shotgun and then all sorts of cool gimmicks with how everything moves around and things like that. You can see in some of the images, it's kind of like showing that up. We haven't seen a whole lot of images of the actual kit doing a whole lot yet, but it does look very, very nice. So I'm quite looking forward to that. One other point of Real Grade news is the Real Grade Unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode Lighting Model version TWCI. I can't figure out what TWC means. What does that stand for? But this is a Gundam-based Tokyo limited item. So if you remember a couple months ago, we saw a kind of promo images, or not promo images, just images of a promotional display at Gundam Base Tokyo that had a Real Grade Unicorn that was wired up with LEDs. And so we thought that was going to be available, and we just kind of didn't hear anything about it for a while until now. This is going to be out as a Gundam Base Tokyo limited item again in June for 10,000 yen. Yes, $100 for a LED real grade kit. But considering that the LED unit for the PG Exia costs $150, maybe not so bad. I have some questions about this though. I think that this is not going to. Well, first of all, I don't think it's going to transform. That's the first thing, because it says in the title that it's destroy mode. I think if it was able to transform, they wouldn't specify that in the title. So that's kind of like similar like what they do with the HG. So because it's specified, I think that it's not going to transform now that they've built the LEDs into that. I think just cramming LEDs into that 1/144 scale is just too much. There's no way that they can also keep the transforming gimmick in that. And what I'm also wondering is that if it might possibly even be fixed posed. All the images that we've seen of that so far, which haven't been all that many, granted, but they've all been in the same pose. And it's the same pose that the Unicorn Gundam is in, the 1/1 scale Unicorn Gundam is in front of Gundam Base Tokyo. So I'm thinking that this might be non-transformable fixed pose LED Unicorn that you also have to use on the given base for that. So it has a base, and what I'm thinking, and this I'm not too sure about it either, this is just another hypothesis about this kit, is that it's using wireless LEDs. I think it's called X-Base, I think is something. It's a thing that we've seen out in the past year or so that's like this kind of base, and there's like these little wireless LEDs, and anything that's on the base or like in the space of the base there, the LEDs will light up. But outside of the range of the base, then they won't. So I think they might be doing like something like that, and that would eliminate the need for putting wires all through the kit, possibly. But then, of course, that just means that you have to keep it on the base anytime you want it lit up. So those are some thoughts that I have about this at the moment. We just don't have too much information about it yet. And for how cool I think that is, it doesn't really seem like Bandai's really kind of like making as grand a deal out of this yet, and it's kind of interesting that they're selling this as a Gundam Base limited item. But because this is a Gundam Base limited item and not a standard release, that just also kind of further makes me believe that this is just like a fixed pose thing, and so it's just kind of more of like a statue that you build basically, and so that's cool, I think, for sure, but it's just not going to be wildly available to us outside of Japan. So we'll just have to wait and see some more details about that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get one to maybe build and show for you guys. That would be cool, but we'll just have to see. It does have two different light colors, I guess, that it lights up in. You're limited to just green and kind of that pinkish red color. So if you want, it's not like the kind of thing where you can just make it change to any color that you want. You are limited to just those two colors, but those are the kind of canon colors that we do actually see of it in the anime, so it does make sense. Okay, and there is another Unicorn release also coming out, but it's the HG. This is the HG Unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode Painting Model Edition out in June for 2,200 yen. Now, this one looks also very interesting, and I'm also not sure if this is a Tokyo Base exclusive thing or not. It looks like something that would be, but it didn't say that in the post that I saw about this kit, so I guess maybe it's not a limited item, and it is going to be just a standard release thing. But basically what it is, it's just a grayscale version of the HG Unicorn, so which it's already mostly white anyway, but the other colors that are like basically, I guess the only real color would just be dark blue, and then the yellow for the V-fin, it's just gray. Now it's just all gray. And the other cool thing is that the Psycho frame is just plain clear, so I guess that's probably why they're calling it the Painting Model Edition, because it's the kind of thing that you can buy this and you can paint that in any color that you want. So if you wanted a unicorn kit with a blue inner frame and you didn't want to have to buy a Phoenix or something like that, you can paint it in clear blue, or if you want it in clear purple or clear orange or whatever color that you want, you can paint that. So it's basically like a empty or a blank canvas HG Unicorn in Destroy Mode. So that's cool. And also it does include 2 Armed Armor DEs, which is nice. You can now use those with other versions of the HG Unicorn that you might have, so that's kind of cool. And of course the Psycho frame parts are clear, so you can just paint them in whatever color to match whatever other kit you want to use those with. So it's a quite interesting release, actually. I'm glad that Bandai is doing something like this. It kind of seems like they're releasing this kind of more for modelers, and that's cool. Okay, next getting into some Gundam Moon stuff. So Moon is the new manga series that's starting very soon, I believe. But we're also going to be getting a couple of kits out of that for the time being anyway. Who knows if we'll get more out in the future. But the first one we've got coming out all the way in September. It's not like it's coming out anytime soon. But way later in the year, in September, we are going to be getting the Moon Gundam. Obviously, the main protagonist Gundam of this series, we can assume. For 3,000 yen. 3,000 yen for an HG, though, does seem a little bit expensive. Though it does look pretty big. Basically, it's like a remodeled Gundam version of a Sazabi, basically, which is quite interesting. So you can obviously see some of the design characteristics of the Sazabi carried over into this design. It also has a very, very, how do I want to say this? Just the design aesthetics and especially like the detail aesthetics of this are very, very reminiscent of Iron Blood Orphans because it's the same mechanical designer that worked on the Gundam designs for Iron Blood Orphans is working on the Gundam designs for this series. So you can definitely see that. I think it's very obvious. Some of the people might not, but for me, when I'm looking at that, it almost looks like something that could be just straight out of Iron Blood Orphans if it wasn't for like the very obvious UC cues in that. The other very interesting thing is, of course, the clear funnel bits on the backpack. So in sort of kind of moon shape on its backpack, of course, there's like these clear red bits, which I guess are supposed to be kind of like funnels. And so that looks very interesting. That's something very unique for this kit that I can certainly appreciate. Also, just the kind of extra V-fin kind of thing on like the top of the head all makes for a very interesting design. I'm definitely looking forward to checking this kit out in September. But then they did also show us an HG Vargil as well, which is kind of, I guess, the antagonist mobile suit. And interestingly, while it doesn't look like it at first glance, it's mostly the same kit. It's just recolored and it has basically a different head and like different backpack, maybe different weapons. But the main body and everything is actually mostly the same. And it's interesting how unnoticeable that is at first. If you just look at the two of them, you're like, oh, it's a Gundam and an antagonist, like kind of Zeon style mobile suit. But they're actually basically exactly the same. So that's pretty cool, pretty interesting. One thing that I really don't like about this design, though, is the fact that it has like the funnel racks similar to the Sazabi on the backpack, but where the Sazabi has the fuel tanks that plug into the backpack under the funnel racks, these fuel tanks plug into the underside of the funnel racks. This looks really strange, and I'm not really into it. But again, at the moment, we're barely seeing anything of the kit. We can just see a prototype, and it's kind of hard to tell really what's going on with it. We can't actually see a good image of what the back of it looks like, just kind of like from the top angle. And it looks kind of weird, but who knows? With the Moon Gundam not coming out until September, I can imagine the Vargil will probably be out in November or December after that, just shortly after that. But with it being mostly the same kit, it's not like they need a lot of time to develop a whole new kit. I think they just want to space them apart at least by a month or so. Okay, now switching over from Gundam Moon to Gundam Narrative, the new series that I talked about at the beginning of the episode. We're getting some new kits from the series as well. So the first thing we have the Narrative Gundam, the namesake of the series. The Narrative Gundam is going to be coming out in autumn. That's all we know so far. We don't know exactly anything about that yet. But and apparently it's going to be coming with this big mobile armor unit. So I don't know if it's going to be sold separately as well, or if it's just only going to be coming with the mobile armor. The mobile armor does look really cool. I do like the look of that a lot. It looks like it's using the fuel tanks from the Unicorn Gundam, and then pretty much everything else though looks pretty new to that. So it looks like it's got obviously some huge cannons on there, probably some like missile pods and everything. It looks really cool. The mobile armor anyway, before I let you guys know my thoughts on the Gundam itself, the Gundam I'm not completely sold on. The mobile armor, although, does look really cool for this. So we don't really know any more details about that. Based on that it's pretty big, I imagine it's probably going to be around 4,000 yen or something like that. But then we do have more information regarding the new version of the Phoenix. This is the HGUC Unicorn Gundam 03 Phoenix in destroy mode. Here, this is the narrative version of that. So, and also this is, I think, the first version of the Phoenix that we're getting out as just a standard release kit. They've all been Tokyo based Gundam based exclusive versions. It was previously Gundam Front Tokyo exclusive versions or P-Bandai versions of the Phoenix. I think this is the first standard release HG Phoenix that we're getting out, so that's cool. It's in molded gold though, unfortunately, which doesn't really look that good, but it's got then of course the blue psycho frame, which is cool, and it's got the new like chain whip pigtail things out, the armed armor DE on the back. Again, I'm not a big fan of that, but it's got them. Anyway, this is out in June for 2,800 yen. So that's actually out quite early. It's not very far off, but I think this is the kit that will require the least amount of work for Bandai to put out. The third kit that we have slated at the moment for Gundam Narrative is the HGC Shinanju Stein narrative version. This is also a very welcome release. It's the first time that we're getting the Shinanju Stein in anything outside of the Master Grade Verka line. This one as well, however, though, we don't have any price or release date set for it quite yet, but it looks very cool. Basically, it's not too different of the Shinanju Stein's design that we see with the Master Grade, but what's different is the shield is a little bit different shaped, the rifle is a little bit different, it has some sleeve markings on it, on the chest and things, so it's a little bit different from just the standard Shinanju Stein, and it's probably safe to say that maybe down the line we'll get just kind of a regular Shinanju Stein, not the narrative version, but just the regular Shinanju Stein, kind of the original Shinanju Stein, released as maybe a P-Bandai variant of this HD kit, possibly. Seems like it would be pretty unnecessary, but who knows? Bandai, could do it. Moving back to Gundam The Origin, though, the HD The Origin GM Guard Custom, this is going to be out in July for 1,800 yen. So this is basically a series of 4 different gym variants that are going to be, they're like MSV gym variants that are coming out in the Origin MSD line. So the Gym Sniper Custom, I already told you guys, is going to be coming out as a P-Bandai exclusive kit. The Gym Guard Custom, though, is going to be a standard release kit. So that's 2 of the 4. The other 2, though, I'm actually not too sure about. At the moment, they're just they're undecided, I guess, when the release date and price is going to be for those. So we also, I think at the moment, don't know if they're going to be P-Bandai or not. At the moment, I've seen them listed as not P-Bandai, but just standard release, but I think that they could be coming out as P-Bandai kits. So let's talk about those 2. We also have the HD The Origin Gym Interceptor Custom. This is probably the strangest of the 4. It's definitely very MSV. I actually have one of those MSV like posters for this around here somewhere. But that's definitely pretty interesting. I like the colors, of course. The white, purple, black is a cool color scheme for that. And then the last one we have is just the HD The Origin MSD Gym Cannon. So the Gym Cannon is something that came out as a P-Bandai Master Grade kit about 2 years ago. I think that was now. And then we also had a different North American version of that. But now we're getting an HD version of that here in the Origin MSD line. So again, not really sure if that's going to be for sure P-Bandai or not, but those are coming out. And they do look really nice, of course, along with just the kind of standard expectations of the HD The Origin line. Okay, and then last, let's talk about some HD Build Divers stuff. Of course, there was some Build Divers stuff announced as well. The HD Build Divers Gundam Gion Ultron is coming out in July for 1,800 yen. This is just a version of the Ultron. There's not a whole lot, well, I guess there's plenty of Ultron left in there, but it's definitely changed the look of it quite a bit with the huge animal head shoulder parts, and it's just a very interesting looking design. It's not to my taste at all, so I probably won't review this kit for you guys just because I'm not really too interested in it at all. But it's certainly interesting, and I'll give it that for sure. So there'll be that. I'm sure that will also be probably a very sticker heavy HG, just with all the different rainbow of colors going on with that thing. One that I'm more interested in, though, however, is the HD Build Divers Garibaldi Rebake. So this is obviously supposed to be kind of a mashup of the Garibaldi and the Gushon Rebake. So it's kind of the first time that we're seeing anything Iron Blooded Orphans related come out in the Build Divers or Build Fighters line. We didn't really have anything in the Build Fighters line, but now in Build Divers, we're finally getting some sort of like Iron Blooded Orphans aspects coming into that, although it's basically just kind of the color scheme and the kind of overall shape and colors and the shape of the giant weapons for that, which are kind of a callback to Iron Blooded Orphans. But otherwise, I don't think there's going to be any specific like Iron Blooded Orphans parts used with this. It's all either just parts from the Garibaldi, which is coming out as an HGC line, and that'll be the base for this kit, and then a whole bunch of new parts for that. And there's a lot to like. One thing that, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be pretty clunky. What we've seen so far of the promotional images, it looks like the articulation is not going to be the strong point of the kit. But on the other hand, it does have some pretty cool weapons. It has a really huge bazooka cannon thing that goes over the shoulder, as well as like the really just huge exaggerated shoulder armor for this, and like the really huge exaggerated like weapon, sword, scissor things that it has. Very exaggerated mobile suit, I think. That is to be sure. But it's going to be a really cool, interesting release, I think. Probably some proportion changes to the legs to even it out a little bit would be in order, but I think it'll make for a cool design for a kit. So looking forward to that actually quite a bit. That's it for the kits, but we did also get information from Bandai that they're planning to release 3 HD kits from the Build Divers line out in August, but we don't know what those kits are going to be yet. So we do, however, know what the next few sets of Build Custom sets are going to be coming out, so let's get into those. There's HD Build Custom Binder Gun out in July for 600 yen. Now, this one is basically just a set of kind of like sword weapons that can also be combined to use as kind of like beam weapons or like gun weapons to make kind of the binder gun, as it's called by the name there. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. There's a lot of different things that you can do with that, so the versatility of this weapon set is very good. That's always a nice thing, but I'm not really too interested in the look of that myself. It's not really to my taste. But moving on to something that is very interesting indeed is the HD Build Custom Machine Rider. So I guess Bandai didn't really learn their lesson with the, what was that called? The Hopper, something Hopper, that kind of like motorcycle kind of parts set from Gundam Build Fighters. It was one of the very early ones in Gundam Build Fighters. But Bandai is going to be taking another crack at a kind of motorcycle shaped up part set here. This one very, very much looks like it's something out of Kotobukiya's Hexagear lineup or something like that. Definitely seems like Bandai's taking some cues from Kotobukiya on this one, but it's, yeah, it's a motorcycle that has a lot of, to Bandai's credit, it does have a lot of different options, it looks like, with this set, and also making it more expensive, though. This one's out in August for 1,200 yen, so it's definitely on the more expensive end for one of these build custom sets. Usually they're around 600, 800 yen, so this is almost double that, basically. So yeah, we can see there are going to be some different options that you can make with that, but this is another thing that's just not really to my taste. But hey, there's one more. Maybe this one will be a little bit better. This is the HD Build Custom Sky High Wings, and it's just not better. This is just another one of those things that I can see some people will love this, and some people will be like, they just can't wait to put this on their kit. But for me, I can't wait to forget that this exists. Just because it's just wings, like bird wings that go into the back of your kit. Again, I can see how this would be cool for some people. I just don't see it as being something that I'll ever be interested in using for anything that I'm ever going to build. So I can see why Bandai's making it. I can see where there would be demand for that, but it's just not here. And the last thing here, I saved the best for last for you guys. This is the HD Build Fighters Winning Fumina Gundam base version. So this is just a different color version, exclusive to the Gundam base in Tokyo, of the Winning Fumina. So I know you guys love the different Fumina kits and everything like that, and you just wish Bandai would keep making more of those. So here we have the Gundam base version. It's basically just a recolor in the Gundam base kind of colors. It's just white and dark blue, basically. And it does have some like special stickers, special like Gundam base stickers for that. And that's pretty much it. Nothing really, I think, too exciting. That was a joke that I was saving the best for last. It actually kind of went to like the things that I'm interested in the least that I saved for the end of the episode. But hey, let's end on a high note. Here's some good news behind me. Well, some of it and a lot of it over there as well. Some good news, at least anyway, that I'm almost done with the Mega Size Unicorn that I've been working on. I haven't shown you guys any work in progress videos or anything like that because it's nothing really too special. It's just painting and just kind of normal things. I'm not doing anything like really special, customizing or anything. It's slightly different colors. It's a little bit tweaked in terms of the color scheme of it, but the Mega Size Unicorn is almost done. Because I'm having the Psycho frame and the armor in 2 different top coats, I can't really put anything together until it's all done. So there's nothing really much I can show you at the moment. Yeah, it's almost done. Basically, the last step that I have to do is just a little tiny bit of detail painting left, and then just throwing on the water slides and top coat, and that'll be done. So I'm going to be out of town later this weekend for a few days, and I have a stack of reviews to get to over here. Kits that are built, Bandai's new for Full Metal Panic Arbalest kit. Sorry, I can't talk. Bandai's Figure Eyes Mechanics Arale kits. Have that all snapped up, ready for review. The Real Grade Tall Geese. the HG Grimoire Red Beret. I have all these kits already built. I just need to get them reviewed for you guys. So I'll be out of town this weekend, and once I'm back next week, I'll be working on getting those reviews out for you guys. So stay tuned for those. And as always, guys, thank you so much for the support. Thank you to all you guys once again who entered in the t-shirt contest. I will be announcing a new build contest very soon, so stay tuned for that as well. Thank you to USA Gundam Store for all the love, guys. Do check out USA Gundam Store and use that coupon code and show them some love back. As always, leave any other further questions, comments, corrections down in the comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. And with that, I'm off to bed. See you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hey! Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.